Ashley, that must have been a tough one to take tonight.
Yeah, of course it is. Especially after the first half, in the way that we played and we controlled the game. Of course, it's disappointing to come off like that, and I think that the way that when the first goal goes in, I think we need a better reset to not concede any more goals in the manner that we did. So, of course, it's disappointing tonight.
Did that surprise you, the lads' reaction to that? Something the gaffer's just talked about, that reaction to going behind.
I don't think it's surprising. I think that at times it's happened, and we need to find a way of eradicating that. I know that what the squad is here, and it's a fantastic squad that could definitely do that. But it's like I say, that we just need to find that now.
What's it down to, that reaction? Because you're an experienced group, not necessarily playing together, but there's a lot of lads in there that have played at this level in the past and higher, like yourself.
I think it's one of them where we go down, we want to go and quickly get the goal back because we know we're good enough to do that, and that's when at the time obviously teams have punished us, and that was the same again tonight. It's mistakes, but we're in it as a team. Everyone's together, and I've got no doubt that we won't dust ourselves down after tonight and go again on Saturday.
Enough big characters in the group?
Yeah, of course there is. You look at the size of the squad, you look at the competition in the squad. That's why we were able to make the changes tonight that the manager did. So every man there is competition for places, and I'm confident in the squad, definitely.
I guess you can understand why the fans reacted negatively at the end.
I think when you see us after the first half, and I don't even know how many shots we had tonight.
30 in total.
It could be a totally different game if one of them goes in the first half. But like I said, it's not to be, and we know what it's going to be like this season. Teams are going to try and nullify us, and play five at the back, and at times drop all 11 behind the ball. So it's down to us to break them down, and of course the fans are frustrated, but there's a frustrated dressing room there as well. Everybody knows that we could do more. Like I say, it could be a totally different game if one of them goes in, but I know we're going to have the right reaction come Saturday, and be able to go out there and put on a performance where I know we can get 3 points.
You mentioned the dressing room. What's the gaffer been like in there?
He's been fantastic. He has been all the time. And like I said, you heard him. He said about when we go a goal down, and I think it's just that thing of wanting to go and get ourselves back into the game straight away. Especially like you say, when you had 30 shots in the game. We knew in the first half if one weren't to go in, and just to be patient. They've scored a goal, and obviously it's disappointing to lose another 2 goals. So of course it's a disappointing night. We've got to recover well, and like I say, be ready for Saturday.
You must believe there's enough in terms of a cutting edge in the squad if you get a similar number of chances against West Brom or QPR or Watford in the next few weeks to put them away.
Of course there is, and I even think that after tonight, when we went 2-0 down, we still had chances. When we went 3-0 down, we still had chances, and until that final whistle goes, if we're creating chances, I know that we've got boys in the squad, throughout the squad, that are going to take them chances and score the goals. And I think if we'd got the one that was ruled out, it goes to 2-1, and we could get ourselves back into the game. But it wasn't meant to be. So like I say, tonight's obviously a disappointment, but we've got games coming up thick and fast. So we've got to recover well and be ready for Saturday.
Bit extra pressure on Saturday because of tonight's result, do you think?
There's pressure every game. When a club comes out of the Premier League, there's always going to be pressure surrounding the club, and like I say, I think we're the team that everybody wants to be. One of the teams that come out of the Premier League is one of the things that you see the way that Charlton were celebrating after the game. Like they'd won a cup final, which I think for many teams that's what it's going to be like. So it's down to us to concentrate on what it is we want to do and how we win the games. Like I said, we know that teams are going to put a lot of men behind the ball. It's down to us to break them down and get the wins.
And just finally, a word on Christian. The gaffer's pretty much confirmed he'll start on Saturday because of Alex's injury. How much confidence have you boys got in him as a goalkeeper?
We've got confidence in all the goalkeepers. We see them day in, day out in training, and they're hard to beat at times. So we've got faith in every single goalkeeper, and if it's Waltz that's going to come in, then we've got every faith in him that he's going to do well.
Thanks, Ashley. Thanks very
much. Thank you.
Ashley, just a couple from me. In terms of the changes, did it feel like it was maybe a step too far? It can obviously be difficult when there are still bonds being kind of built over time, and when there are so many changes, has that made it kind of harder?
When you've got a squad like ours, whether we make 11 changes, We know we've got boys that are going out on that pitch are going to give the same as the rest of the boys in the squad. It's a squad game. You can't use the same 11 players for a whole season. It's just not possible. So, of course, there's going to be things talked about, the changes, but, we've got players that will step up to the plate and play well. And like I say, it's competition for places. I see that competition day in, day out on the training pitch. So I've got faith in every person in the squad.
I suppose from your perspective, the Portman Road effect is going to be the most kind of disappointing one, where on the road, sure, we know that there maybe needs to be improvements, but at home you've been so dominant, the performance has been good, the results have been good, so to have this one tonight, I assume that kind of makes it especially disappointing.
I think we said that the disappointment obviously tonight and disappointment on Friday as well. Whether we're home or away, we know what we can give and we know what performance we can put out there. Like I said, the first half performance, if one of them go in, I do think it's a totally different game. Even when we went 2-0 down and we got the goal that was obviously disallowed, goes 2-1. I think it's a totally different game, and we were still creating chances even though we was 3-0 down. So it's one of them things where we've just got to concentrate on what it is we're doing, keep doing what we're doing, take the positives out tonight. Obviously we know it's disappointing, but it's a big game Saturday.
Cheers.
Actually, on the actual goals themselves, what do you kind of put them down to? Is it individual errors? Are there things that you can do collectively better? A combination of both?
I think it's a collective. Obviously, we're a team. And when things don't go right, then it's a team game. So we're all in it together. There's 11 people out on the pitch that when you concede, we all concede together. When we score, we all score together. So it's disappointing. We'll obviously look at them and watch them back and see what caused them. So. Like I say, we need to recover after today and get ourselves prepared for Saturday.
And 10 games into the season now, that's often where a lot of people start to say that the table starts to take shape. Is that something you believe in? I imagine it's something that you're not going to be pleased with where you are at the moment, but how do you assess the opening stage of the season?
I've never seen a table won after 10 games, so if you say it's taking shape, we've got so many games left to play, and that's what we're going to be focusing on and concentrating on. And next one for us is West Brom this Saturday, so we're not looking that far ahead as looking at the table. If you ask me the same question come May time, then I'll give you an answer.